When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. Oh, what am I doing? It's Tuesday, it's a tutorial, and today we're talking about 88 miles per hour, a number that has so much significance to a young Robin growing up in the 80s. Back to the Future, Doc Brown, Michael J. Fox. Today we're talking about 88 miles per hour. It's DeFi, but they have announced version 3. It is live. It's a liquid, non-custodial, fully on-chain, fixed yield rate protocol. Fixed yield. Always an item of fascination for me because it feels like that is the product that's going to help onboard crypto muggles to this space. Safety, security, something predictable. That's what they all want, don't they? Let's find out after this message from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Polymarket, the world's leading information markets platform where you can trade on the most pressing global questions, all on the blockchain. Choose from a variety of markets. Will Cardano support smart contracts by October? Will the US have more than 200,000 COVID cases before 2022? Will Trump run for president again? And with over $140 million traded on the platform, Polymarket is the go-to place to settle the biggest debates of the day. Want tomorrow's news today? Use Polymarket to see real-time data on what the market thinks will happen. No fake news, no pundits without skin in the game. Think you know more than the market? Trade on your beliefs and earn a return if you are right. And for a limited time, sign up with the referral code TUTORIALS to get up to $100 reimbursed on your first day of trading. Go to the description and click on the link to get started, polymarket.co/tutorials. So we have covered 88 miles per hour before. We did a video on tranches a long time ago now, where we covered them. This is version 3 now, and they've done some upgrades, and they have tried some new things which are worth taking a look at, specifically the fixed rate product. We will look at that in a second, but there's a list of all the different things that are available on version 3. So you can stake MPH for XMPH, so in protocol revenues. There are floating rate bonds now called yield tokens. If you remember our video on Pendle and how their fixed rate product works, it's a similar kind of thing. You're basically splitting up yield into the bit that earns the yield and then a fixed rate bit underneath. It's effectively what they're doing here. Those yield tokens are fungible ERC20 tokens. They talk very clearly about their 3 lines of defense to mitigate the risk of insolvency. And there's a whole other thing, which is the positions you take on 88 miles per hour are represented as NFTs. And those NFTs, they've gone one step further with them. And rather than just saying, oh, it's an NFT, which if you've ever done a Uniswap V3 LP position, you'll know that they turn up on OpenSea, and there they are. These positions, they've commissioned a few artists. Here they are, Visual Dawn, Skate, Warakami, and Man with No Name, to create some art. You can go on OpenSea, you can find it. So here it is. These are 88 miles per hour positions, and you can see which position they are. Compound Uni Pool Deposit version 2, and that's a piece of art that represents the position. They make collectibles out of DeFi positions. It's wild. Dope as hell. So obviously 80 miles per hour is, they draw their memes and their visuals and their ideas from Back to the Future, DeLoreans. Fun fact, I was actually driven to my wedding in a DeLorean. But what we're interested in specifically is the fixed APR, fixed rate savings product. Now, when we think of fixed rate savings products, typically the one I reference is Anchor, which is 20% on UST. That is a monstrous APR. And I'll tell you why that's so monstrous. If you compare other, for instance, if we look at DeFi rate right now, and look at the lending rates for various protocols. If you're looking at like USDC, you might get 9% on LEDN, 8% on Nexo, but this is variable. It moves up and down. So you don't really know what rate you're going to get from one day to the next. So a fixed rate is highly desirable because it's just, you can compound it, you know exactly what you're getting over a period of time, and that's much more attractive. So that 20% on Anchor, as this market matures and we start to see lending rates come down, it's so impressive. So what 88 miles per hour is offering here is effectively they act as middleware between themselves and between you and other lending protocols like Compound or Harvest that are sitting under the hood. And what they do is they take those yields that are gained from those lending protocols. They rebundle them, and then they add their own token on top and give you a combined yield that is pretty favorable. And they're stripping out the volatility. That's effectively what they're doing. They're stripping out the volatility of the interest rate and saying over a period of time, they can guarantee you a certain rate. And the way that they do that is, as we saw with Pendle, they strip off the yield component into YT tokens, but they also bundle in their own native token MPH, which comes as well. So that makes up a significant portion of the yield that you get. It's really, really simple to set it up. Like mega simple. You go to the 88 mile per hour homepage, and here you can see a little dashboard that tells you how much you can earn. So there are not that many options at the moment, but they're very clear. So we have DAI via the Ava protocol. You got USDC via Ava, USDT via Ava, and then similar ones from Compound. Although there are some interesting ones here, which is Link and Uni. And then there's a really weird LP position, CRV Ren WBTC via Harvest Protocol. There probably is a really good reason why they picked that one. That is so niche. You say ditch, I say niche. I never understood that. It's niche, like quiche. That one is there as well. But if we do for instance, do DAI via Compound, what it'll give you is the fixed APR that you'll get from that compound position, which is 1.45%. And then on top of that, you get a 19.56% MPH bonus that comes on top as well. And you can set the term. So you can say, I want 30 days, or you could say 365 days. That is as far as it goes, I'm afraid. So you can only do a year, and the rate goes down. So you get a more conservative rate. If we put that up to 365, you see the rate goes all the way down to 0.77%. It's different depending on what you're putting in. So DAI versus Ava, via Ava, you've got 0.83% over the course of a year. But if you're putting it in for less time, 30 days, for instance, you get 1.57. On the front page, they say earn up to 2.06% fixed APR. So where would we get that 2.06%? Do we get it on the CRV? Yes. So this Curve Ren WBTC LP position is where you would get that rate. Wow, that's a big number. Total available at maturity, 450 million. That's because I've got 10,000 of them. I wouldn't. I'd have one, maybe. And there it is. That's a big old number. So the ones we're probably most interested in, which are stablecoins, DAI, USDC, and USDT. DAI via Ava, 1.57%. But then you do get this MPH. So in order to set that up, you would be looking to set a number of DAI, a total of DAI. So I put a very small amount of DAI in my account today, 150, and you can plug in the numbers and you say, okay, over the course of 30 days, my DAI would earn me 28 cents on $150 worth of DAI. 28 cents, which is not very much. Like with all things in DeFi, if you really want to see some decent numbers, you need to ratchet up how much you put in. Now, that's not that exciting. So what if we put in USDC, for instance, 150 USDC, probably wouldn't be that much. So we can start to play around the numbers a little bit and see where things start to get favorable. Okay, there we go. So if I put 10,000 DAI in, it gives me a 20% bump on MPH. But if I only put 100 DAI in, do I still get that bump? I still do get that bump. So there's something a little bit glitchy with the UX at the moment, because as you could see, when I put in the 150 DAI earlier, it didn't give me that extra 20%. So now it's looking a bit more like it should do. So I'm getting $2.62 in interest. Is that exciting? No, not really. But no one looks for a fixed rate yield to be exciting. Anchor is weirdly exciting. And I had a look at the MPH price, because obviously you want that to be worth something. Hilariously, we've had the Litecoin Walmart news literally half an hour ago, which has just tanked the market. And the shape of every single token looks like this. Whoop! Wow! The SEC is going to love that. So we look at the MPH price over the last year. Well, I mean, we went up and then it came down again. It's gone up a bit, but now it's come down again. But it's sort of hovering around $35 to $40, something like that. So it's not nothing. But is that exciting? Probably not that exciting. So if you wanted to go ahead and put, let's say, 10,000 DAI in there, over the course of 30 days, you come out with $174.95, which to me is not that bad. It's not that bad. If that money's going to be sitting there doing nothing, that's not that bad. Let's see what would happen over the course of a year, and you would come out with $2,000. Honestly, I don't think that's that bad for a fixed rate of interest. I've seen worse. Obviously, it depends what the MPH token itself is doing at the end of all of this. And that leads us on to the next thing, which is what you can do with that MPH once you have it. Now, it is possible to withdraw your funds at any time, so you're not locked in to that period. And you can change the terms of it, so you can add to it, or you can take away from it. You can withdraw certain amounts of your token if you want to release that capital. And you can take the MPH itself and you can stake it. So if you stake it, you will receive an equal amount of XMPH, which gives you, basically will earn you 100% of the 88 mile per hour protocol revenue. So they have a bi-weekly MPH buyback mechanism, and it gives you voting rights, and it basically gives you, more ownership of the platform itself. And well, that's never a bad thing. So you can start to compound. If you're feeling brave, you can also farm it in Sushi. They also have Uniswap and Bancor as well. So you can be a liquidity provider. And I think you'll get what do you get? 45.46% APR. So that's kind of a more of advanced setting, but you'll be able to see your MPH stack here, your XMPH stack here. And that really is as simple as it gets. Like I said, the numbers are not that exciting. There's a list of them here. It's no one's looking for fixed rate yield to be exciting, but it's possible. That's the point. Now, if you want to go a little bit further into the protocol and look at the yield tokens, so you can basically speculate on yield tokens. Go and look at the Pendle video we did to understand how yield tokens work. But you do have another option here to speculate on the value of the yield as it fluctuates and arbitrage from there, because they rely on people buying these to bring the price and the yields back into proportion with what's being locked up on the platform. So that's it, 88 miles per hour. I think it's wild that you can have an artistically rendered version of your position on 88 miles per hour. I'd love to see more of this. I always thought it was fun to see your Uniswap LP positions rendered as an NFT. Some really cool stuff. And I get the feeling that this piece, if you look at these two here, they quite clearly make up part of a larger whole. So there must be a larger image that if you manage to get all of them, they would make up one big piece. Is that a reason to go collecting them? Probably not. But if you're of that persuasion and you wanted to be that guy or girl, well, you could. The artist himself is a man with no name. He used to do some really wild visualizations of chart movements and things that were going on. And so that's 88 miles per hour. The fixed rate of interest, very, very simple, very, very easy to do. And you get a nice piece of art with it as well. And you can stake and get some protocol rewards. So definitely worth checking out. Very, very easy to use. And I look forward to seeing more of these, because I think that is, like I said, that's the way to get the muggles in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.